So today, we're going to dive into this really powerful, maybe even life-changing idea from Dr. Brené Brown's research. It's all about the journey of letting go of who you think you're supposed to be so you can finally really embrace who you are.
And Brené Brown kicks things off with this incredible challenge. She says, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we will ever do. It's a path that demands a ton of vulnerability. And as we're about to see, that's exactly where the good stuff is found.
So how did she even get to this idea? Well, her path definitely wasn't a straight line. It all started with a pretty shocking discovery she made in her own research.
For years, you've got this researcher, Brené Brown, and she is deep in the trenches studying all the tough stuff. We're talking shame, fear, vulnerability. She's collecting thousands and thousands of stories, really digging into the very emotions most of us try to run away from.
But then as she's sifting through all this data about struggle, a pattern starts to emerge that she just can't ignore. There was this group of people who were, well, they were different. They were living with this incredible sense of joy and resilience and worthiness. She ended up calling them the Wholehearted. So to understand what was going on, she broke her findings down into two lists. On one side, you had the do list, which described these wholehearted people. It had words like authenticity, love, and joy. But the don't list? Oh, that was a whole other story. That one was filled with things like perfectionism, numbing, certainty, and just total exhaustion.
And this is the moment that changes absolutely everything for her. After staring at these two lists, she has this gut-wrenching realization. She picks up her marker, draws a line right under that don't list, and writes one simple word: me. All of her own struggles, her own life, were staring back at her from the what not to do list.
A realization like that doesn't just stay on a piece of poster paper. It triggered a huge personal crisis for her, an experience that she would later call her breakdown spiritual awakening.
This kicked off a whole year of intense, super messy, but completely necessary soul work. It was all because of this hard truth she'd uncovered. Her own life was totally out of sync with what her research was telling her it meant to live a full, whole life.
And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the whole point. She says, "It felt like a textbook breakdown to me, but Diana, my therapist, called it a spiritual awakening. I think we were both right." It made her wonder, can you even have one without the other? Sometimes you have to fall apart completely to be put back together in a new, more authentic way.
So through this incredibly difficult process, she didn't just find herself. She actually uncovered the essential tools for anyone who wants to try living a wholehearted life.
All right, first up is courage. And this is so cool. She went back to its original definition. The root word core is Latin for heart. So courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. It's not about being some kind of hero. It's about the ordinary courage to just be vulnerable and speak your truth. The next tool is compassion. Its Latin root means to suffer with. And this is so key. It's not about swooping in to fix someone from a position of power. No, it's a relationship between equals where we recognize our shared humanity just by being willing to sit with someone in their darkness. And finally, these two tools lead to connection. Brown defines this as the energy that flows between people when they feel truly seen, heard, and valued. It's that ability to give and receive without any judgment. And this isn't some luxury. She says it's a biological necessity. We are literally hardwired for it.
Okay, so once you're armed with these tools, courage, compassion, and connection, Brown then lays out a practical map for the journey ahead, the 10 guideposts.
These guideposts are basically the daily practices for wholehearted living. Each one is an invitation to cultivate something that brings you life, while at the same time letting go of whatever's holding you back. So you'll see things like cultivating authenticity, gratitude, and joy, embracing a resilient spirit, and even making room for calm and play and rest. Each one is a step on this path.
To really see how these guideposts work in the real world, let's just do a quick deep dive on a big one. Guidepost number 2, cultivating self-compassion by letting go of perfectionism.
So what is perfectionism really? Well, Brown is super clear on this. It is absolutely not about healthy achievement. She calls it a 20-ton shield, this heavy defense mechanism we carry around to try and avoid the pain of blame and judgment and shame. It's never really about being your best. It's always about what other people are going to think.
And this quote from Anna Quinlan just captures the whole challenge and the reward perfectly. The thing that is really hard is giving up on being perfect and beginning the work of becoming yourself. It's this conscious and, yeah, often scary choice to finally lay down that shield.
So when you put it all together, you've got the tools, you've got the guideposts, this whole journey. What does a wholehearted life actually look like? What's the end game here?
Ultimately, wholehearted living is all about engaging with our lives from a place of worthiness. It's the daily practice of waking up in the morning and before you've done a single thing believing, I am enough.
This right here is the core belief that changes everything. Worthy now, not if I lose the weight, not when I get the promotion. We are worthy of love and belonging right now, this very minute, exactly as we are.
And that brings us to the final, really challenging question that Brené Brown's work leaves all of us with. What's the greater risk? Letting go of what other people think of you, or letting go of who you truly are? The answer to that question, well, it can change everything.